Welcome back to the channel, and we have another Solidworks kind of demonstration for you. Now this is going to be extruding and holes, and we're going to kind of create this one a little bit differently. We're not going to use the rectangular option here. We're just going to use a regular line and create what they're called a thin feature. So we'll do the extrusion with a thin feature, and then we'll come in with the hole command and do all of these holes. All right. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna utilize SolidWorks to put all of these holes, I would guess geometries or profile, on one sketch, and then that way I'll be able to use that in creating all of these different holes. And there's 3 different sizes of holes. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump over to SolidWorks and get started. Okay, so here in SolidWorks, we're going to go ahead and select the new icon here, and then we're going to select part, then OK. All right, so once this loads up for us, we should automatically just jump into the sketch. I want to thank you for watching this video if this is your first time here. And if there's something that you see me doing incorrectly or you kind of need more clarification on, please let me know. Let's go ahead and start off by creating a sketch. So I'm going to go here to the sketch environment, and I'll select the sketch button here. I'm going to place this one on the right plane. And then I'm going to use a midpoint line here. So I'll go to the midpoint line. I'm going to place the midpoint of that line here. And then I'll go ahead and create the rest of that line, right? So I'm just going to go right up from here. Let's hit the escape button. And then we're going to put a dimension on that line, right? So let's go to dimension. Let's go from that, and then the height of this is going to be set to 50. So once I place that, I will make the distance, or the vertical distance of this, at a height of 50. Alright, so now this is all I need to create the sketch that I want to create, right? So I'm just going to exit the sketch here. I'll go to the features. And remember that you don't have to go to this features. You can also hit the S button on your keyboard there, and you will get the extrusion base boss option here. So I'll go ahead and choose this. And what SolidWorks should do is should find this line and say, hey, okay, I see that you have a line. What do you want to do with it, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and specify what the thickness of it is. In this case, it's going to be 7. And then I need to specify what that length that I want it to be, right? So it's going to be sitting at 120. All right. So once I have this height set, let me go and hit the enter button. Now I need to kind of determine how I want this to behave. I'm going to go ahead and make it in the mid plane. So you're going to see that shift, and now I have a plane right here in the middle. And then if I'm looking at it here on the one direction, remember that we do have some other directions. So I can use this mid-plane option on here as well. And then that's going to allow me to go ahead and put my plane right there in the middle, right? So just depending on which way you want to create this. So I can create it going that direction, or I can send it in 2 directions. That's just a kind of, I guess, long way of saying that it's asymmetrical. So asymmetrical, symmetrical in one direction. Let's leave it at mid-plane here. Now let's go ahead and hit the checkbox. All right, so now we're finished with that part of it. Let's go ahead and select this top face. And then we're going to go ahead and create a sketch on it. All right, now I'm going to put a few different things on here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a rectangle. And I'm going to use this 2-point rectangle, although I could use the center one. Both of them will work fine for what I need it, because this is going to be a very symmetrical part, and everything is going to be kind of based right off in the middle. So, you know what? Let's just go ahead and use that one. I think we use the 2-point one all the time. Let's go ahead and use this one. So, I'm going to go ahead and specify, and you can see that number 1 is telling me to specify the center, which is going to be located here. And then I need to specify the other parameters of it, right? So it looks like it's sitting right about there. Let's go ahead and hit the escape button. And then let's go ahead and put the dimensions on it. So let's go to dimension here. And this has an overall height dimension of 30. And then we're going to give it the overall width of here. Now I have to do a little bit of math according to the drawing. So the overall length from this corner all the way to this edge is sitting at 110. Now I have to subtract off the distance that is going to be between here. Well, that distance happens to be 10, so therefore 110 minus 10 should equal 100, right? So I'm just kind of giving you the logic of how my brain is thinking here. So we're going to go ahead and make that distance sitting at 100. All right, now we have this outside rectangular kind of part created, right? All right, so for the next part here on the inside here, I'm just going to do that midpoint line again. So let's go to midpoint line. I'm going to select this midpoint, and then I'm going to come out this direction. And now I have to do a little bit of math again, right? So I have a number of 86, which is how long or how far it is from one edge. And then I'm going to subtract the other distance, which is 34, from the other edge. And that's going to give me the length of that line, which should be sitting at 52, right? So all I did is took the 86 minus the 34, and that gave me a length of 52. So I'm just going to get this line going horizontal. I'll do a click here, hit the escape button. Let's go ahead and put the dimension on here. We're going to click this line here, and I'll go ahead and specify here the distance will be 52. Kind of giving it a second here. My computer is kind of lagging a little bit behind me. All right. Then the next thing I want to do is figure out how I'm going to deal with this pattern circle that's going around here, right? So the way that I'm going to do that is I'll go ahead and create a circle. I'm starting at the origin again, and then I'm going up at a height of whatever that diameter of that circle is, right? So I'm going to place it here, and then I'm going to go ahead and put a dimension on it. I'll go ahead and do a dimension from here, going up. And there's another way I can do this. I could have simply drew a line at whatever the radius is. But if I'm doing it this way, this will allow me to go ahead and place the exact diameter of this circle on here. And then I can go a line going straight up from that center, going to here. Okay, let's escape out of here. I just want to make sure that this line is touching this. Now the reason I'm doing it this way is if this ever changes, I can just change this one number and it's going to automatically change the position of that. So let's go ahead and do a trim, right? So we'll go to the trim. We're just going to tell it, go ahead and cut off the closest point to that, which is there. We're going to escape out of here, and then we're going to exit out of this command. All right, so now I have everything that I need to go ahead and locate my circles. Let's go ahead and start off with the big circle that's there in the middle. So let's go ahead and use the whole command. And we can see the diameter of that one should be sitting at 20. So I'll go ahead and come here. I'm going to use a simple hold. And you can see that this is automatically selecting all of these endpoints, and that's kind of not what I want to happen here. Let's go ahead and deselect some of these. Where's the skip instances at? I'm just going to go ahead and clear out of this command. There we go. And for some strange reason, I had the sketch selected. Let's try this again, and it might select them all again, which is exactly what I don't want to happen. I just want to be able to select these sketches and go through it a different way. Okay. Now, without that sketch selected, now I can actually select the points. If you select the sketch, it'll automatically assume that all of the endpoints is what you want to create. These are going to be a simple hold, right? It's going to be metric. The diameter of it is going to be 20. It's going through everything. Next, I'll go to the position. I'm going to select this face. And then I'm going to come right at the origin here and select there. All right, we'll go ahead and hit the OK button. And then that creates our first hold. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is come back to the hold command. And all of these next holes are going to be a distance of 10, right? So each of these next 6 holes is going to have a diameter that is set to 10. So I'll select here. I'll go ahead and change the size of it to 10. Once again, we're talking metric. It's a simple hold. Let's go to position, select this face, And now we're going to select the endpoints, right? So I'm just going to select each one of these endpoints, as well as this endpoint here, and then this one. Let's go ahead and OK this. And now we have those holes in, right? So now we just need one more hole to put up in here. Let's go back to the hole command one more time. We're going to specify where we want that, and this one is going to have a diameter of 3. So all of the other stuff is going to be the same except for the diameter. We'll specify that here. We'll go to here. We're going to just scroll up until we find 3. Going to jump over to position, select the face, and then select the endpoint. Go ahead and hit the OK button. And now we have that. Let's go ahead and hide that sketch. So I'm just going to select here, do a right click on it, and hide it. And then the last thing I need to do is a circular pattern. I'm just going to rotate this up a hair. We'll go and take a look at the circular patterns. It should be asking me, what's the feature that I want to use, right? Let's go ahead and expand here where it says part. And this is going to be the circle that I want to do a circular pattern with. Next, I'll come up here to where it says direction. And I'm just going to pick right on the inside of this hole there. Now I should be able to pick that up. It sees that I have 6 of them, 360 degrees. If I had more, I can change the number here. Okay? Everything looks great. Let's go ahead and hit the OK button. And then we'll go ahead and take a look at this kind of in an isometric. I actually selected the wrong isometric window here. Let's do this one more time. There we go. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed watching this video. This was a good example that I can find. Oh, I did forget one other thing, and I'm so sorry about that. Let's go ahead and put the fillets on here. So let's go with the fillet command. And then we do have 4 fillets on here, and they have a radius of 10, right? So we're going to use the fillet. I'm going to set our radius, which is sitting at 10. Do I want this to show a preview, right? I'm just going to leave it blank for right now. And I'll show you what this button will do. All right, and I'm just going to rotate this around. I'm holding down the middle mouse wheel to rotate this to the other side. All right. And once I have all of my edges selected, depending on what you want to see, I can show a partial preview of it, and that kind of gives me the grid of one of them. And then I can do a full one, and it's going to show all of them, how it's going to affect all of the drawings. So this one just kind of shows you what you have. I'll just go ahead and leave it at no preview, and it's just going to have the lines highlighted. Let's go ahead and hit the OK button here. And once again, I am sorry, I almost forgot about it. Did remember to do it now. Okay, hit the space bar, and now I'm able to select the isometric. All right, so thank you for watching this video. Hopefully this was kind of informative to you. As you can see, if you have a lot of holes on it, it's good sometimes just to put it in one sketch. The one caution I will, kind of tell you is that try not to have that sketch highlighted already and then select the hole command, as it will look at all of those endpoints as points to place those holes on, and you saw me do that. All right, but hopefully you enjoyed this one. This is a good video of showing you patterns using the hole command and how to set that up, as well as a thin feature or a thin offset or extrude using Solidworks. All right, so thank you for watching, and as always, keep drafting.